All right, we are ready to roll. Welcome you guys to our success series number 2. We are definitely excited about this success series this semester, being able to present you guys with several valuable topics in a online format, and also just trying to make sure that our students and also faculty and staff remain encouraged during this time. Throughout the semester, as we are approaching midterm, it's very important that we remain motivated and continue to press forward in a positive direction. Today, we are in for another treat. Our first week was an outstanding presentation. Today we're receiving a presentation from Miss Lynn Becnel. For those of you who don't know, Miss Lynn was actually our first success coach in the college. She was the first person that through us creating those positions that was pulled in as a success coach. And so she has been a part of the process from the very beginning to kind of help us navigate what this program needs to look like. And has always been a very influential voice as we have tried to continue to enhance the program, as we have tried to make sure that we are serving students adequately. So we definitely value her. For many of you, especially our students, you may have seen her when COVID initially started back in March. She took on the task of being the person to do our success series in the spring. So she did weekly videos for our students to keep them motivated and encouraged during COVID. And I think she did an excellent job with that. So I'm super excited to hear from her, especially since she was very influential in the foundation of what we now are experiencing as our online success series. And so I know you guys are just excited as I am to hear her presentation and to engage on today. As she is opening the floor for you all, make sure that, again, you are muted. Please remain muted until she opens the floor for you to engage, and you can unmute at that time. So I will now turn the floor over to Ms. Lynn to do a brief introduction, and then you can begin your presentation, Ms. Lynn.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank each of y'all for joining our success series today. Like Dr. Montgomery said, they've created the position of student success coach. I'm going to go through the process of sharing my screen while I talk, if that's okay. They've created the position of student success coach so that they can provide every possible support for student success. So again, I thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope I can share my screen successfully. Okay, awesome. Alrighty, so today's topic is choosing your attitude, and that only you have the power to do that. So there are so many factors in life that you can't control, but you have complete power over your attitude. So think about that for just a second. No one can make you think or feel a certain way except for you. So you have the power to direct your life through your attitude. You and you alone have the power to decide what you're going to accomplish in life, what goals you're going to establish, what your game plan will be, and how focused you will stay on those goals. Your attitude determines your direction. So let me ask you this question. When you get into a car, whether you're riding or you're driving, think about what you're doing. You have a destination in mind, and you have a plan for getting there. You know what roads you're going to take and what turns you're going to make to get from where you are to where you want to be. You know, you've got gas, and you've got time, you've got resources to get from where you are to where you want to be. Well, what about if you drive around randomly? Before you know it, you would use your gas, you would waste money and gas during that experience. I'm so sorry. And you would also use up your time. These are two valuable resources, your gas, your cash, and your time. And before you know it, you wouldn't get anywhere. You wouldn't have accomplished anything. Sometimes, even when you have a destination in mind and a plan for getting there, you're going to encounter roadblocks and detours. There are going to be obstacles in your way. But when you're driving, you figure out what you need to do to get around them so that you can get from where you are to where you want to be. Well, it's easy to see what we're talking about when we talk about driving. When you're driving, you decide where you're going, you have a plan for getting there, you use your time and your resources, and you stick to that decision until you get there. And again, even when you encounter those roadblocks, you figure out what you need to do to get around them so that you can get from where you are to where you want to be. Well, it's the exact same thing about life. It really is just that simple. In life, you decide where you're going to go, what you want to do, what you want to accomplish. You make a plan for getting there, and you use your time and your resources to get from where you are to where you want to be. You don't have to plan out your whole entire life at once, but plan out each semester generally. And from there, make a weekly schedule. And from there, make a to-do list each day. So think about that term, to do. To do is only one letter away from today. So a to-do list is a list of things that are important to accomplish today. So think about that the next time you make a to-do list and stick with it. What steers the decisions of what you're going to do today and this week and this semester and in your life is your attitude. Just like you steer your car to go right or left, your attitude is the driving force of your life. So let's talk about 5 simple things that you can do to decide your attitude. And this is the part where I'm hoping that y'all will turn on your microphones and give me some feedback, because the feedback that you've experienced is going to be similar to what all of us have already or have experienced or will experience. So it's so important to share that information. So I hope that you'll turn on your microphone and participate in just a few seconds when I ask some questions. The first important thing to do when you're deciding your attitude is to identify and understand what's important. So we've talked about this goal in blue in other success series. So let me ask you, are you in school because you realize that education is a tool that you can use to have a better quality of life, not only because a degree often leads to better jobs and better pay, but because you want to be more knowledgeable about the world and you want to see yourself that way and you want others to see you that way? Can anybody volunteer a goal, a short-term or a long-term goal that you've had in your life that you have been able to accomplish? Any kind of goal about, it can be something simple like, I'm going to cook at least one healthy meal this week, all the way to, I'm going to pass all of my classes this semester. Would anybody be willing to share any kind of goal?
I'll go ahead and share one. This is Gabriel Berger.
Hey, Gabriel.
Hey, how's it going? It's kind of
Going
funny
good.
that we're talking about this today because I just got out of leadership class and we were talking about the same exact thing. Um, so a goal that I've already accomplished, I wanted to join and begin going to college because I realized all those things that you just said about education. And that became a reality once I started attending college right here at North Shore Technical Community College.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah. It's life-changing for sure. When you have a goal, you identify it and you go after it. It's absolutely life-changing. Anybody else have a goal they want to share? Something really short-term or long-term? Something about maybe getting all your homework done this weekend on time.
I'll volunteer some information.
Okay.
So I had passed my certified cheese sensory evaluator exam about 2 years ago, and that took a lot of tasting cheeses and trying cheeses and things like that, and just being able to understand different terminologies. And I was one of the first classes to take this exam, and one of the few, it's about 40 of us at the time that passed the exam, and this is for all of North America.
Wow, what a goal. That's an exciting goal to have, and it's amazing because there are a gazillion different kinds and flavors, and I'm sure very sensitive things that you'd have to tune yourself into to be able to do that. That's fabulous. Thank you for sharing that with us. Anybody else want to share a goal that they've been able to accomplish? Most of all, I think what she was just talking about was how great it felt to work really hard and to accomplish that goal at the end of the day. And you always have to stop and take that moment to celebrate that accomplishment, each and every goal, whether it's something simple like, preparing that one healthy meal, getting all the laundry folded today, passing that class, or completing an intricate course. You have to take that time to stop and celebrate it. If anybody else wants to share, please jump in. If not, I'm going to move on to the second important thing when deciding your attitude, and that is to find a role model or a mentor. So you need to find someone you look up to, and you need to keep them in touch with your progress regularly, and that's the key. It can't be somebody you just see every once in a while. It needs to be someone you're in touch with regularly, and you need to ask them to encourage you when you get a little sideways. So it can be a parent, a coach, it can be your student success coach, it can be a faculty advisor, a friend. Lots of people can be a role model or a mentor. We would love to do that in student services as your student success coaches. But I wanted to ask if anybody can share a story of a coach or a pastor, a grandparent, a friend who encouraged them, who said, when you were feeling a little bit low, and they said, hey, come on, keep trying. You can do it. You can do this. And it gave you that extra little push to accomplish what you set out to accomplish. Can anybody share a story like that with us?
I can.
Okay, awesome. I love it. Love it. Go ahead.
Actually, it has to do with you, Miss Lynn.
Oh, goodness.
When I first started coming back to college, I was really rough on myself, and I was very negative towards myself. And you kept reminding me to be positive and that I can do anything that I set my mind to. So I keep remembering that every day, and every time I talk to you, you always give me little words of wisdom to live by, and I always keep those in mind when I'm having a bad day. So, yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Megan, for those kind words and for sharing that with us. Appreciate that so much. And whoever's next was sharing a story about a role model or a mentor. Nobody? Okay.
I'll go ahead and jump in one more time.
Okay.
When I was at the lowest point in my life, sitting in a jail facility, actually, they had a chaplain in the facility who kind of took me under his wing and was like, look, this is the direction to go. This is, I hope you realize you're at the lowest point of your life, and here's some things we can do to turn it around. And it was life-changing. It opened my eyes to a whole new way of life and led to my success today.
Thank you all both so much for sharing those stories. Each one of these 5 things, when you tap into them, it's just like what we've talked about. It's life-changing about the difference that each one of these things can make in your life. And all of these things are just literally at your fingertips. Thank you all so much for sharing that. We'll move on to number 3, hang out with people who have similar goals. If you hang out with people who are trying to accomplish something similar to what you're doing, you're going to keep each other focused and centered, and you're going to be able to encourage each other. So can anybody share a time when they formed a study group or they had a study buddy, some situation that they set themselves up in and it made a positive difference in the outcome of that class or that goal or that activity? When you hang out with people who have similar goals. Anybody?
So for me, when I was doing that, studying for that exam that I took, my boss put me in charge of creating the whole curriculum for us to learn. At the same time, we were also helping 2 other people pass a different exam that's typically used before getting to the one that we took. So I created the whole curriculum for us to study until we took our exam.
Wow, it's a lot of responsibility. You felt like having that team approach of not only having people to work with you, but people you really were kind of responsible for supporting made a big difference in the outcome?
I feel like it did, and I feel like it helped them understand more because what we were doing is it was more advanced than what they were studying for, but going over what the same material that we were helped them understand the different nuances of the cheeses.
That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. Yep. Groups, yeah, herds, groups, teams, you know, all the words that we use of a body of people working together for a similar goal. It is powerful. Thank y'all for sharing that. That's a great example. Our next thing that we need to do when deciding our attitude is to think positively. We'll flip over here to this screen. Martin Seligman is a best-selling author, and many other experts say that thinking positively results in better performance in school and at work and at other tasks, that thinking positively results in better sleep and being healthier and less stress. So thinking positively results in a better quality of life. So you have to picture yourself in the positive outcome. It's just super important to think positively and picture yourself in that positive outcome. So can anybody think of a time when they just couldn't quite make themselves believe that they could do it, and then they fell short and were disappointed in themselves? Kind of hard to think about it from that other side, but it's sort of the result of not thinking positively. A little bit harder to do that one, I agree with you. Yeah, there are lots of things that in life that I have wanted to accomplish and just wouldn't think positively about it. And, you know, those are the things that we often look back and say, wow, I just wish I would have pushed myself a little harder and accomplished that. So think about that, and then get on the other side of that about thinking positively and believing that you can do it, because it's just the power of the positive thought is going to make you unstoppable. And last but not least, believe that you are able to make this happen. So what we believe about ourselves is so powerful. We can believe that we're capable and smart, or we can believe that we just don't have what it takes. When you stand in front of a basketball goal, picture that for a second. And if you feel like you're about 3 feet tall, even though you're not, and if you believe that you're never going to get the ball in, you absolutely are not going to get the ball in, like I was just talking about. But if you say to yourself, I really want to get the ball in the hoop, that's my goal. And if you channel your positive energy into believing that you can do it, then all of a sudden you start dribbling, and you dribble a little more each day. And then you start running and jumping and building up the strength in your ankles and your legs. And then you start jumping a little more each day. Before you know it, you stand in front of that basketball goal and you shoot that ball and you make that hoop. You have channeled your positive energy, and you've channeled your determination and your work ethic to accomplish something. You believed that you could do it, and you did it. And channeling that positive energy will make you unstoppable. And that's really what we're talking about today. I want to share 5 tips for getting started in choosing your attitude. And then I'm going to need a little bit more help from y'all, especially on this first one. And it can be a one-word answer if y'all want to turn your mic on and chime in. The first thing is to start each day with a grateful heart. So all of us have had so many things happen to us that are negative. And when you dwell on the negative, it's very hard to move forward. But if we stop and count our blessings and channel our brain to accent the positives, before you know it, you'll be amazed at how many positives there are. So can y'all turn on your mics and just everybody name one thing that you're grateful for? As we move into Unselfie Month and Thanksgiving, this is especially a good time of the year to start counting our blessings, thinking about the positives.
I'm thankful for my family.
Awesome. Me too. Thank you.
I'm grateful
Anybody
to have
else?
you in my life, Miss Lynn.
Thank you, Gabriel. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. I feel the same way.
I'm
Anybody?
grateful for my college family.
Awesome. Me too. Super important. Team.
I'm grateful for good health and strength.
So important. The older I get, the more I realize how important those things are. You take this for granted when you're younger, but you sure value them when you're older. Anybody else, a blessing, something they're grateful for?
I would say every day that I wake up is a blessing. So I'm grateful for life.
Yes, amen to that. Thank you all so much for sharing those things. So important to start each day with a grateful heart. If you start from a positive place, you'll end up in a positive place, a positive state of mind, which again it's life-changing, it's powerful. Number 2, keep your eye on the goal. So think about that basketball goal. Relate being in school to your life's goals. So every time you walk into a class, whether virtual or face-to-face, every time you get ready to sit down and get to studying, think about that goal and relate what you're doing, the studying and the work and the sacrifice of your time and resources so that you can accomplish your life's goals. Number 3, believe and realize that you're worth it, because I promise you that you are. You're created for a reason and you're worth it. So do what it takes to be positive and believe that you can do it. Number 4, be ready for the roadblocks and the obstacles. They are absolutely, definitely going to happen. So they're going to be there. So it's how you react to those obstacles that are going to make the difference. Sometimes the roadblock is your fear that you're going to revert to old habits. Sometimes the roadblock is the fear that you don't have the discipline that it takes to make these changes. But if you change those negative thoughts into positive ones, once again, you will be unstoppable. And number 5, pay attention when you need to regroup. There are going to be times when you are so worried, when you're so distracted, when you feel like you're pulled in a million different directions. You're going to feel like you're behind, like you can never catch up. All the things that happen to all of us, these are definitely going to be, they're going to happen, so be ready for them. That's the time when we usually make the mistakes in life, right? So be looking out for them, and when they happen, breathe in and breathe out, stop, don't act first, but think. Reach out to that mentor, reach out to that study buddy, reach out to that friend, that coach, your success coaches, reach out to somebody when you're feeling that way and say, hey, I need you to help me to get refocused. And then go ahead and reflect on your life's goals and move forward to what's most important. So those are 5 things I hope you will reflect on frequently throughout this semester and throughout your life, because they'll kind of keep you on the right track. We're going to focus on 3 things this semester then. Establish your goals and choose your attitude based on those goals. See if I can play this. Believe in the power that you have, and only you, to shape your life and accomplish those goals. And teach yourself each day that harnessing the positive power inside of yourself will make you unstoppable. It's like the little engine that could, the childhood story that we all know. The reason why he could, even though he was the smallest of all, was because he believed that he could. He believed in himself. He established the goal of getting up the mountain and pulling that train up the mountain. He was determined to do it. And he harnessed all of his positive energy and determination into doing it. And he did it. The difference is in your attitude and what you believe. So don't ever forget that. And listen to the voice inside you that wants you to finish strong and be proud, and say to yourself each day, I may not be there yet, but I'm closer than yesterday. So if anybody has a story or anything they want to add at this time, I'd love to hear it. If anybody wants to talk about attitude and the difference that an attitude can make in your life, I would love for you to share it with us. I thank all of y'all for sharing everything that you did share with us today. Like we said at the beginning, everything that you share is important to each one of us, because we either have experienced it already or we're going to, and it helps to strengthen us when we realize that we're all in this together. I want to remind all the students to log into Canvas and Gator Mail every day, and to utilize the resources on our website under Library and Learning Commons. They are amazing resources there. I'm so impressed with what the college has put together, and there are tutorials there. And then we're going to have our own student success page that's coming soon that I think Dr. Montgomery is going to talk to us about. Remember that you can reach all of us at successcoach@northshorecollege.edu. And most of all, Whatever you do, stay positive and keep your chin up. We believe in you and you can do it. Thank y'all so much for attending today.
All right, excellent job, Ms. Lynn. Thank you guys so much for taking time to be with us on today.
Appreciate it.
Before we close out, do you all have any questions or comments before we close the meeting? I know personally, the information that was provided was very valuable and definitely spot on. You know, it made me reflect on my feels like 1,000 years as a student and all of the different challenges that I, faced during that time. One of the biggest challenges was math, any form of math, statistics, whatever was a problem. And I remember being in my doctoral program a few years back, and we had 2 statistics courses. And I was telling my cohort members, this is what I'm gonna fail. This is why I'm not gonna get my doctoral degree. I can write 1,000 pages, but these classes are gonna be the reason why I'm gonna fail. And I remember those 10 cohort members saying to me, we're not gonna allow you to fail. You can do this. You have the ability to, you just have to believe that you can. And
Powerful.
I had to shift that perspective and say, this may have been a barrier before today, but it's not going to be a barrier any longer. And I ended up getting A's in those classes.
Go,
and
girl.
So I remember, but it was because I had that cohort of people that rallied around me when I didn't understand, took the time to help me understand in the same way that I helped them in things that I was stronger in. And so that community piece that you talked about, and just having that group of people that you trust and that are there to encourage you and not feed into that negative talk that you're giving yourself, makes such a big difference. And so when I look at that piece of paper that makes me Dr. Montgomery, I have 10 other people plus my family and my coworkers and my friends who were a part of that process. And so you have to have a village that helps you through and that keeps you motivated to continue to move forward. So all of the information was just awesome.
Thank you so much.
Not giving up. So you did an excellent job, Ms. Lynn.
I believe in it.
Yes, the first 2 sessions have been outstanding, definitely on time with so much negativity going on and many people feeling discouraged. These sessions have been very encouraging, very motivating. And Troy Lynn said, we got the power.
I love it, girl.
Yeah, we got the power. And
absolutely.
As a college, we have the power to set the tone as students, as faculty and staff, for those around us, to show them what it means to persevere and what it means to defeat the odds.
Right.
And
to stick together, pull on each other's strengths. Yeah.
Yes. To overcome those challenges. So great job today.
So true.
And Gabriel says accountability is key. You have to believe to achieve. That's absolutely right.
Powerful, life-changing.
Absolutely. And the last thing that I would say is, Gabriel, in your story, you gave a valid point that it was one person who motivated you to turn the corner. And we have to be mindful of the power that we have to help that person next to us, to just have the difference that we can make in a person's life, in a person's day. You never know what your hello means to a person. You never know what that encouraging word means to a person.
Yeah, just one smile, I think, can make all the difference. Yeah.
That's right. So very, very, very good presentation. Very good.
Thank you so much. Thank all of y'all, each and every one of y'all. Appreciate it so much.
Any other questions, guys, before we close out? All right. If not, thank you so much for attending. Please be sure to attend on next week. I think next week we will be on Wednesday again. We try to do kind of alternate Wednesdays and Tuesdays to ensure that all students have an opportunity to jump on the call. So we will see you again next Wednesday. And we're so excited about this series. And thank you all so much for attending on today. Hope you have a great week. And feel free to reach out to our success coaches, reach out to our student services team. If you need any form of support, we are here to help you. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Thank y'all so much. Have a good
rest of your day.
Thank you.